everybody, and welcome to Purposeless Rabbit Hole's short-form impression show, Hot Takes. Or as I'm calling it this time, smooth-ass takes. Because I am view-averse and love giving my videos terrible titles. Also because the gameplay of this first game is smooth as hell, and this motherfucker's head is smooth. What, did you think the title was referring to being smooth while playing Hitman, infiltrating like a master assassin? No, friend. But we'll get to that later. First up, I want to talk about Ghostrunner, a game in which you are a man called Ghostrunner who runs on things and chops heads. Chop, chop, chop. Choppity chop, chop, chop. Oh, I fucking died. Chop, chop, chop. That's the game. Ghostrunner is a Twitch-based first-person platformer with light combat elements. It reminds me a lot of Hotline Miami in that the gameplay loop is based around speedrunning bite-sized chunks of gameplay without being hit once. Because being hit once means that shit's all over. And it's gonna be all over and over again. Fucking trust me on that. Luckily, the loading screens are less than a second long. And also, luckily, the same one-shot rules apply to your opponents, which leads to some very satisfying jib streaks in between wall runs and grapples. I feel like I really only need to show you this one clip, and if it piques your interest, you should check out Ghostrunner. Yeah, that shit is hot. It's a very straightforward and stripped down action game, and I kinda think $30 is too high a price tag for what I've received so far, but I'm only about 2 hours in, and I don't know how long this thing is gonna be as a whole, so we'll see how I feel by the end. So far, it's a satisfying romp. Solid 6 out of 10. Pick it up when it's $15 and you feel like playing a cyberpunk game that won't scam you or send you into violent convulsions. Sorry for this shiftless ass review. Ghostrunner is mostly in here so I can keep up the pattern of the thumbnails that I got going with 2, 1, 2, 1. Now on to the main event, starring everybody's favorite big bad bald boy, Hitman 3. And prepare yourself, because shit's about to get bananas. And I mean that quite literally. I got this banana, and I'ma kill people with it. The sound effect really made it. The limp squish of a dull banana smack. In Hitman, you play as Herman the Hitman, a man who took up the titular job after abandoning his true calling as a world championship dart thrower. Hitman 3 is, obviously, the third entry in IO Interactive's reboot of the classic franchise, and the conclusion of what the devs are calling the World of Assassination Trilogy, which is a strange name to me, because it implies there have been 3 different games. Straight up, when Hitman 2 came out, I thought it was an expansion pack, or like DLC or some shit. IOI hasn't done much of anything to distinguish these games from one another, and while I appreciate the consistency of their products, if I don't know which of the 3 products I'm playing at any given moment, then maybe that's too consistent. The big new addition this time around seems to be a camera, which, like, for real? Spider-Man did camera mechanics better. Fucking Pokemon Snap did that shit better 22 years ago. And I'm not here to snap pics of Pokemon either. I'm here to snap the necks of men. I love this neck snap animation too. It's so lazy. So yeah, not a whole lot of changes between this Hitman game and the last, both in terms of gameplay and the story. Honestly and truly though, I couldn't give half a fuck about this story if you had a gun to my head. So I'm probably not the guy you want critiquing this dark tale of espionage and betrayal. Whoa, the guy shot himself. Was he a character? To me, it's just a string of missions, all starting with the exact same cutscene. For real, IOI has made the same cutscene like 17 times at this point. Bunch of fast-moving newspaper clippings, After Effects transitions over an old lady saying some shit like, Agent 47, there's a bash being held in Dubai. Your target is Madame Carlyle, a corrupt ocean liner magnate whose favorite activity is strapping herself to rockets and shooting into space. And the rocket looks surprisingly like you, Agent 47. There's a house in New England hosting a grand dinner party, and the cake looks surprisingly like you, Agent 47. Of course this motherfucker would be a cake too. So we know the story's lame. Everybody knows the story's lame. Please leave a comment if you don't think the story's lame. I'm genuinely curious. But where Hitman 3 really shines is in the individual missions themselves, the maps, and all the hidden secrets and small-scale narratives nestled therein. A lot of people really seem to enjoy the World of Assassination Trilogy's mission stories, which are essentially little gameplay vignettes scattered throughout each of the game's levels that the player can engage with in order to assassinate their target by playing through a set of curated objectives. And while these can be fun and often lead to the game's most memorable conversations, character moments, or kills, they also often involve the game telling you exactly where to go, exactly what to do, and exactly how to do it. But that's not how I do, so we doing it different. Different being my way of saying, like a terrorist, which is what my version of this game should be called. I actually did used to get terrorist ratings in the earlier games, like straight up. While I do acknowledge that the mission stories are interesting in the way they take you on linear, flavorful journeys through each mission, to me, that takes away the emergent element of the series, the proactive element of the series, and that's how I prefer to play. Which is to say, I prefer to play it more like Hitman Blood Money, from what I remember. Finding my way around the maps on my own, knocking people out and hiding bodies, snatching disguises when it suits me, haha! Hitman 3 is at its best when I'm making my own fun, and man, there is a lot of fun to be made if you're willing to meet the game halfway and engage with its deeply complex mess of interlocking systems. Now, with all that praise in mind, I want to cap it off by saying that Hitman 3 revolutionized stealth on the PS4 by having all of these amazing features and still managing to be the most boringest game ever made.
Can I come? No. This is a private matter. Get right. What's your mistake?
Yes, Hitman 3 is good, but it is also very tedious and forgettable sometimes. Lots of waiting, lots of waving, lots of long conversations with NPCs you care nothing about, lots of hold triangle to play game, lots of death, lots of story beats you've seen elsewhere, lots of recycled gameplay, and lots of the most forgettable maps in the trilogy. And just to briefly clarify, these games absolutely do have some of the best level design of the 8th generation. It's spectacular and dense, and I've seen it all done better in the last 2 games. There's not a single level here that made me feel the way Sapienza did, or the Miami Raceway did. Besides maybe Dartmoor, I did enjoy Dartmoor. In my humble opinion, Hitman 3 and its selection of maps make up what is noticeably the weakest entry in the World of Assassination trilogy. But I mean, shit, we get like one good stealth game every 3 years at this point, so I'll fucking take it. Holy shit!